never get enough. Ow. Shoot. There's a sweet stuff. Okay, man. I got a question and I do about it even if I would. Out of mind. Never would have thought of this. Hey, and I know this much is true. Baby, you, my addiction. I'm so strung out on you. When you move. How y'all doing tonight? Hi, Aaliyah. How you doing? How you doing? Hi, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so sorry. How y'all feeling? Hey, Sky. How y'all feeling tonight? It's Tuesday. Hello, Grazelia. Hello, thank you for joining. Aki, hi, how are you? Thank you for sharing the live, Sky. How y'all feeling tonight? I'm here to review episode 17 of the Life Be Life podcast. It's a little windy out here tonight. Child, I don't know what's going on. How y'all doing? Hey, KC. How you doing? Hey, Uncle Joe. How y'all feeling? So, episode number 17 was about, I interviewed this entrepreneur who is also a good friend of mine, who also helped me with my businesses that I had set up when I first started one of my businesses, which was Anchored In. And that's an event planning and rental decor type business, all in one, which I still have that business that started in 2021. But before I started it, I met with her because, and her name is Davina Lemon, or Davina Shorta, or whatever. Oh, sure. I didn't know if that was that loud. Thank you, Sky. Appreciate you, boo. I met with her, and she pretty much is like a business manager, project management type thing. Hey, mommy. Thank you for joining. And she pretty much gave me like the to-dos for my business, helped me like set goals or whatever. She was really good about that. We had broke all of that down and like projections or whatever, to the point like she helped me get my business on Groupon, because I have a 360 photo booth, and helped me get that on Groupon and everything. So she had just like a lot of great information, and she's really good at helping people kind of like outline and put together, even to the point of my podcast. When I told her that I felt like God had called me to start a podcast, and you know, I was pretty afraid to do it because I wasn't sure how to even go about it, right? And I was a fan of podcasts in general, and but I was like, I didn't know like what I wanted to do. So she was like, you got to write 20 plus, you know, she gave me the tips and all the things to do. So she was really good about that. And hey, Kia, hi Tracy, thank you for joining. She helped me with that. And so I titled, and that's not even her only business. At that time, she was doing that, helping business owners pretty much figure out how they wanted to market their business. And then she also started a project management, business. And then now she has like a scented oil business and diffusers. She's went into editing. She's doing all types of stuff now. But she's a serial entrepreneur, and I'm super grateful to know someone like her. Again, her name is Davina Shorter. If you guys would like to see that interview of It's Giving Boss, because she is a boss chick, period. That is on YT and all the platforms for a podcast where I basically just interview her. So that's what all the questions are based off of. But for tonight, I did invite her in to come go live with me tonight, but unfortunately she wasn't available. But for tonight, for all those who are entrepreneurs, and whether it be men or women, and she's a wife, a mother of 2, and like she's still like chasing after her dreams and doing all the things, so I admire that. But yeah, that's what we were talking about, like how to be a boss and still like do all the things, run your household and all that type of stuff. So I decided tonight that the boxes are open per usual. If you would like to come in the box and share your story, you are more than welcome, about your entrepreneurial journey, and what that looks like, what you may have learned, all of those things. We're always here to spread wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and teach somebody something, possibly give them some nuggets so that they can move forward in their journey as well. So again, the boxes are open. If you would like to share your knowledge, you are more than welcome. But for the meantime, between time, y'all know I be talking, so I guess I will take the reins for now. So like I said, I have my Anchored In business, which I'm now niching down. That started in 2021. And I started with the photo booth, and I did decorating for multiple parties, mostly birthday parties, and things like that. And I was very grateful to be able to do those things. And I did the 360 machine for weddings and different things. This past year was my first time actually getting to the point of a corporate event or whatever. So that was like my first big corporate event. So I've been doing pretty good for the last 2 years. I told y'all last week that last October God had kind of set me down from that business, and so I had put it on the shelf, but now I'm coming back full force, ready to go. Thank you for the follow, Top Flight. Thank you. I'm coming back full force, ready to go. I'm niching down my business to intimate setups. So for those who are unfamiliar what an intimate setup looks like, basically you would hire me to come in, and if you wanted to do a date night or anniversary, or like to surprise your lady for Valentine's Day or for Sweetie's Day for fellas, whomever, like anything romantic that you wanted to do for your partner, significant other, whomever, I could do that. I can come in to your space and set that up for you. I do rose petal designs. I do the balloons on the ceilings, roses everywhere, candles. I even partner with a sweets lady that does the professional chocolate covered strawberries and all of that type of stuff, right? Even some of my packages will offer certain types of liquor, champagne, whatever. Like, I could do it all. If you want to have an intimate dinner, I could set that up. I have flute glass, champagne glass. It's like everything. So I figured this way I'm niching it down to something that I can handle, because just having an overall event plan in business is huge. Like, and it's so like, it's an overly saturated market right now. Thank you, Sky. Thank you so much. It's an overly saturated market right now. Everybody is doing it. Even though I feel like I'm a good organizer, I could organize an event if you needed help with that, whatever. And I still possibly may offer that, But I don't think so. I think I'm gonna do my own events. Me and my best friend have some events we got coming up for singles in the Chicagoland area that we're planning to orchestrate to bring both of our businesses together. She has a wedding coordination business or whatever, and so she's doing really well in that area, in that arena. And we want to kind of go through the journey with people of the stages of their life, right? So we're going to bring our two businesses together to create all of that. So they probably trying to battle. I'm not battling. So anywho, so yeah, that's one of my businesses. Another business I am working on right now is a medical body piercing business. Out here we have maybe one, and oh my gosh, thank you so much, handsome. I can't. I'm holding this stand, child. Let me see if I can hold it here. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you, love. Mwah. With that business, oh Lord, my phone, I told y'all my phone stand broke. I need to get another one. Anyway, I'm gonna get my life together. So medical body piercing business, me and my sister cousin are opening up that business. And right now we're in the stages of looking for a suite and getting everything situated or whatever. And so I'm super excited about that business because I'm really just going to be in the background. My sister cousin is a registered nurse. She will be the one doing all the hands-on stuff. I would just be administrative. And yeah, I'm super excited to see that business coming to fruition. Listen, your girl is trying to create multiple streams of income, okay? It's giving boss, period. I have a regular 9-to-5 full-time job that I work for. I told y'all, a big hospital out here in Chicago. But baby, your girl ain't trying to do that for forever. Forever. Y'all already know I'm on my educational journey. So I could become a licensed clinical therapist. But in the meantime, in between time, multiple streams of income. Okay, let's do it. God gave me all these gifts and talents and all the things to do, and I'm gonna do them. Okay, He didn't give me this knowledge for nothing. So I'm super excited about that business. In the meantime, in between time, I'm still renting my 360 machine. I actually have one employee. Your girl, because the first year since 2021, I started September 2021, and I started booking for a whole year straight. I was booking, and I was lugging that 360 machine around by myself on my own, going into parties. Like, other vendors would be there, like photographers and stuff, and they like, ma'am, where's your team? You ain't got nobody helping you with this machine. I'm like, no, it's just me. Like, the 360 machine, if any of you know what it is, for sure, like, it's heavy machinery, and it's not an easy task. But I was determined, and I was just blessed to be in a position that people were even booking me for it. So listen, your girl was out here lugging it around, and but I got tired of that real quick. And so my last event, last October, I trained my friend, and he was like, yeah, I could do it for you, no problem. And I was going to pay him from what I make from it, whatever. And he's been doing my events for me since. Thank God for that. Now I have storage space to hold all of my party rental things as well. It's just like, it's moving slowly, but that's how business moves, right? Every day she hustling, period. I know y'all see me on here and I be just working on my laptop, but also your girl be busy. I be busy, booked and busy. I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm just waiting for the overflow, Lord. And I know He gonna do it, but you have to put in that work. And when you start your own business and start from the bottom, and you're not like other people that get a $1 million investment into whatever you want to do, okay, it's gonna take time. And even if you do have money, sometimes it still takes time to reap the benefits of the business, right? So just because it's not popping all of a sudden or overnight doesn't mean that you should give up. So it's really taught me patience. It's really taught me patience. It's really taught me resilience, even further, right? Because it's something I really want and I really want to do. But also, like I tell people all the time, I have a spirit of excellence, and all that I do, I try to give it 1,000%. But also, I be tired. Okay, so that's always my mindset, and sometimes that's a hindrance because if I can't give it 1,000%, then I slack off the whole time, like because I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is too much. I'm not going to be able to accomplish this, so I just give up completely. That has been my way I handled things in the past, but I'm definitely trying to break that cycle slowly but surely. But it happens with putting certain things in place to do that, right? So I recognize that about myself. For me personally, I need to be on a schedule. I need to have a routine. I need to be like structured. I can't just be loosey-goosey every day. Oh, I woke up today. What am I going to do today? Randomly. Like, I have to plan things out. And if I don't plan them out, and I know everything don't go according to plan, to be clear. I'm not saying that it does, but if I don't plan it out, I feel like I'm setting myself up for even further failure, if that makes sense. So yeah, and I love like my booking site and everything. Everything is so organized with my business. One of my friends hired me for their companies. That was my corporate job that I did for them, booking. And he was like, okay, so how do I book with you or whatever? I was like, I'm gonna send you, I'm gonna send you an invoice or whatever, and then we can go from there or whatever. You fill out all the information, or give me your information. I, request the information or whatever, and then I input it in my system, and then I sent them the stuff. And when I sent them my invoice and everything, the email, he was like, "Oh, you professional. I thought you was gonna just like, what's your information? What's your card number?" So I could put, like, I didn't know if you was like on some Zelle stuff or whatever. I was like, not that I don't use that. I have it across the board. I have my LLC. I have my what's it called? I have my business numbers. I have all the things, okay? Because I'm sort of a perfectionist, and I like to do things in perfection. Oh, thank you, handsome. Appreciate you. And so I like to do things in order. And when I found out all the information I needed to start a business, I was reluctant to start it unless I had all of these things on the checklist, right? But you have to start somewhere, okay? Don't be so hard on yourself, and don't get discouraged. Just start. And then if you are privy to information like the D&D numbers and all the different things, thank you so much, Hansel, for the gifts. Like, utilize that information and try your best to get all of the things. Like, even when it came down to my email and phone number, a lot of people were like, why you just want to get a Google number? Well, Google numbers don't register well within the business world, right? You need to have a legit business number that's registered in the phone book, essentially. So if somebody needed to 411 you would come up. A Google number doesn't do that. And so I wanted my business to be taken as seriously as I wanted to present it. And it's all about presentation, right? And, again, if you have to start with a Google number because that's the most inexpensive route, kudos to you. Don't feel no type of way about that. But also, again, open yourself up to learn the better practices of how a big business starts, right? Or how a big business operates, or whatever. That's the better word, operates. And because I want to be considered a big business eventually, and even to the point, I'm very big on manifestation and speaking things into existence. And so even when it came to my hashtags that I put on my posts on social media, and small business is a general term, right? That is a real thing. They have small business Saturdays, they have small business this, small business that, whatever. Support a small black business, that's a hashtag too. It's a whole thing. I get that, and I put that hashtag as well. But please don't get it twisted, devil. My business shall not be small. It will be a big business, because that's where God is calling me to. So I just believe in the power of words, and I believe that it's gonna be huge, because that's me. And I say things like that, and I know some people may think like, oh, that's being cocky or whatever. But no, I'm really trying to convince myself, okay? I'm convincing me that I can be more than what they say I can be. Okay? Period. Sky said, you are dropping important nuggets. Love that you are sharing for others to learn. Thank you so much, Sky. I appreciate you, boo. Thank you for the emotes, handsome. Love you. Yeah, listen, I will never be a gatekeeper, ever, ever, ever. And everything that I have learned is because other people was putting that information out there. And if we don't share with each other, we will never grow. And it's more than enough room out here for all of us. We don't have to be selfish. We don't have to be holding stuff close to the chest or thinking I'm the only one that can make it. No, I want us all to be great. If you want to be great in this atmosphere, we can be great. Like one of my other associate friends, she was just starting her event planning business right after like a year after I had started. So she came to me, thank you so much, Dodie, for the follow. Came to me requesting information about how I was booking, like the site I was using, different things like that or whatever. And I was like, girl, I'm still learning, but I'm gonna tell you what I learned and what I learned not to do and what I learned to do. You know what I'm saying? So even to the point that we just saw each other recently, earlier this month, and she's been doing her business now for like a year. And I asked her how it was going and everything. You know, every time she posts, I repost her stuff. I support her, even though we have the same exact business. Okay, to be clear, like I'm not your clientele gonna be your clientele, and my clientele gonna be my clientele. Who is for you is for you. I ain't no bad blood. I ain't finna be beefing with nobody because they doing the same thing I'm doing. It's more than enough room for all of us. And we were just talking and stuff, and we were talking about sharing the same storage because it's a central location. I was like, yeah, girl, and we can share each other's products if we need to. Like, okay, I'm gonna use this for this, and like we can cross check on each other's books. And I found that out from another event planner. She was like, I was like, girl, I didn't know you had all this stuff, like, because it's a lot of money in that, like, that you have to put out as an event planner and decorator. Like, you have to buy all that stuff. So I mean, I was buying stuff. Every time I made money, I was putting it right back in my business because I needed to buy more things so I could be more valuable or more out there for clientele. They, you know, the throne chairs are a huge thing. Well, dang, I need to invest in getting me a throne chair so that people will want to book with me because I got the throne chair and I could do the balloon backdrop. I can do all of it, right? But what my event planner friend told me, she was like, girl, this is my friend. My friend owns a business too, and we share each other's things. And I was like, that makes so much sense. She was like, there's no way that you're going to be able to do all that on your own. Like, we help each other out. We share each other things. Oh, you need the throne chair this week? I need it for next Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we just come together, we could do marvelous things, okay? So me and her had agreed that, you know, we wanted to go to this decor class together to like take our stuff to another level, and we could again share each other's things, and we sharing the storage space together, and we would do, you know, it's more than enough space for us all. We can all do it. What are 2 top lessons learned beginning your businesses? Oh, I think I said it already. First of all, make sure if you have an idea of your name and stuff, because somebody else recently had asked me to help them set up their trucking business. They want to be an independent trucker or whatever. And he was telling me, I don't really know nothing about that life, but he was like, can you help me set up the business side of it? Because I know you have done that before. And so I was like, you have to pick a name. Okay, cool. We picked the name. And then I'm like, okay, you have to set up your LLC. You got to make sure your name isn't anywhere else. Check socials. Check all the things. That D&D number, I think it's the, I don't know why it's escaping me. But that's another thing. Like, to be on that database is a huge thing because that helps with your business credit. If you have that D&D number, once you go to set up your business credit, once you go set up your bank account, they ask you for these things in your business name, and you have your certificate, you have all of those things. Like, have your stuff in order. You need to have a business address. A lot of people use their home address. That's cool, but know that if you register your business under your home address, when people look that up, they can get access to your home address. Okay. Also, if you're really running a bigger business, like I said, and you want to be viewed as a bigger business, you need to make sure that you get another address. And I found out there are plenty of situations that you can, not a P.O. box, but you can get a mailing address at certain facilities or certain places that look like big corporation buildings, right? And so I did that. And you rent the mailbox basically for like $7 a month or $8 or $10, I don't remember, but it wasn't that much money. It's like a subscription, right? So you make your business look more like, oh, this is a professional business. This ain't at somebody's crib. And even if you are working out your crib, your clientele don't need to know that necessarily unless you have a pickup. You know what I'm saying? Like, it depends on your business, I guess. But and again, you start where you can start at. But this is just something to help you on your business side, because when you talk about business credit, all of that stuff matters, how your business is set up and what it looks like. And they'll be much more keen to hand you some funds or whatever if your business is set up like an actual business is supposed to be set up, opposed to you just like, well, I'm just doing this little side hobby, and you treat it as such, if that makes sense. So yeah, just do your research and do all the things that you need to do to set it up the way that you need it to be set up. So that was one, the business address, and I already said the Google number thing or whatever. Even the email. The email is another big one. If you can buy a domain name for your business, do that. Domain names, again, it's like a subscription thing. You pay for it monthly, whatever. But you can buy your domain name. You can go to multiple websites to get a domain. You can even use Google. Google, if you want to start a business, Google will walk you all the way through it, right? Type it all out. They even have now professional Google numbers, because again, it was a problem when it came to you registering with businesses and being on the DMB database and all that type of stuff. So Google will walk you all the way through. You can buy your domain name from there so that your email doesn't read PortiaBankston@gmail. Well, that's my personal email. I don't want to put that as my business email. Or even if my name, my business Anchored In, I don't have to put Anchored In at Gmail. Gmail is a general email that everybody has access to create an email address on. You can go to buy your domain name. Once you get your domain name, you can set it up in Google, all that type of stuff. If you buy it from Google, it's already set up. They give you your own email database or whatever. And so like mine for instance is book anchored at anchoredinllc.com. That's my domain name, Anchored In LLC. If you go to my website, it's www.anchoredinllc.com. My website will pop up. Like, all of that is there, so it's all in alignment. So, oh, okay, this is a real business, because real businesses own their domain names, right? Their names are not attached to a Gmail account or a Hotmail account or whatever. So again, it's imperative, if you want your business to flourish and be taken seriously by these financial institutions and different things like that, you should do your best and set it up properly. Get your LLC, get your DMB number, get all of those things, your phone numbers, your addresses set up professionally. And even if you need a space and you can't work in out of other spaces, afford to work in other spaces, again, just rent the address. That's essentially what you're doing. Rent the address until you're able to get into a space, until you're elevated to that point, okay? So yeah, those are two key things I would say to do. And then that's two key things that any business, if you want your business to flourish, that's what you should do. So that when you do get, because so many people like, oh, you just need to get an LLC and you can make bank. Like, no, it doesn't stop there. You have to get an LLC and get all these other things, so that when you do try to get business credit started, you will have all of this under your belt, and they will be more, okay, you got all of this, you got your ducks in a row, let's go. You know what I'm saying? But again, thank you, Legendary. How you doing, love? It doesn't happen overnight, and please don't go into it thinking that it does, because it doesn't. It takes a lot of work. It takes consistency, and it takes Patience. Above all else. Above all else. Okay. Again, tonight we're talking about episode 17 of Life Be Life and Podcast, season 1. It is on YT for the visuals and every other platform for that you find podcasts on. And this episode was called It's Giving Boss. I interviewed an entrepreneur, one of my good friends who is a business manager, a project manager, an editor, a mom, a wife. She's all the things and still making businesses and making it do what it do. She's a serial entrepreneur, and I pretty much just interviewed her and asked her viewpoint on different things. She's very knowledgeable, so please go check out that episode if you need some questions answered further about entrepreneurship or whatever. And also the boxes are open if you want to share your story about how your journey has been as being an entrepreneur. You are more than welcome to come up in the box and share your story and tell us the do's and don'ts and different nuggets if you want to share the knowledge, because we're out here to impart wisdom on others. And again, no gatekeeping, okay? Because ain't nobody got time for that. So yeah, let me see. I'm gonna look through some of these questions and see what I basically asked her, child. So yeah, I'm always interested in when people decide to start their own business. Like for me, I have personally been decorating, and first of all, I call myself the DIY queen, okay? Because I feel like I can do anything, all right? It's nothing. I look at something and be like, ooh, that's really nice. I can make that. I really feel that way. I feel like I can make anything, and it's really sad sometimes because, girl, you cannot make all the things. Sometimes you need to outsource this. Also, you don't have time. But that's neither here nor there. That's just kind of been a running thing through my life. Like doing hair, I taught myself how to do hair because I couldn't afford to get my hair done by a beautician every week. Pay nobody to do no sew-in and all that type of stuff. So I taught myself how to do a sew-in. I taught myself how to do braids. I taught myself how to, you know what I'm saying? So I just kind of like think outside the box. I don't allow things to stop me, essentially, from not being able to do it. And I also feel like that kind of came from the women in my life, especially looking at my grandmother when I was younger. I remember, and particularly, this is just a quick story, that my school had a Renaissance fair. And my middle school had a Renaissance fair. We had to get like these Renaissance, like Victorian gowns and stuff. And we were supposed to dress up, you know, and all of that or whatever. Well, we ain't got no money to be buying all that. And when you gonna wear this dress again? Girl, no. Everybody got time for that. And so I told my grandmother what we had to do. She's like, girl, I can make that. And I'm like, okay. So we had got some old dresses. She had got some other material from the thrift store. She took the seams out, that material, all that type of stuff, like different clothes. And my grandmother made me a Victorian style dress for the Renaissance fair. And when I tell y'all, I got there and everybody was like, your dress is so nice. Oh my gosh, where did you get it from? I'm like, my grandma made this. Like, baby, you can't tell me what you can't do with a needle and thread and some little knowledge. Making your own patterns and stuff. Like, it's just the making it happen despite what your situation is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that tenacity, it's that enthusiasm, it's that I'm not going to allow the barriers that are set in place around me to stop me from doing what I want to do or being great. Okay? So I learned that from my grandmother. She's just one of the people that I remember seeing her grind in that way. And like, it was never nothing. Like, oh, we can make that. You know what I'm saying? So I have that same type of determination. If something break, I think I can fix it. I be like, oh, you just need to put this in that place instead. Like, it's the intuitiveness or the intuition rather of a black woman. Okay, don't play with us. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. And again, I don't know if anybody else is that way. I'm sure they are. But I'm speaking to my experience as a black woman, to be clear. So anyway, there was some other period, Scott. So yeah, so I was just asking her a bunch of questions about her business and her biggest learning experiences, all that type of stuff. So I'll just answer a few of these for myself to Okay, so how do you deal with fear or doubt in your business? Ooh, child. Um, it was a lot of fear and it was a lot of doubt. But again, I'm the type of person, because my faith is so strong. Um, when I even thought to even purchase the 360 machine, I was like, first of all, ain't no company. Them machines are expensive. They're thousands of dollars. Who finna let me buy one of these? And then when I was like, I can't outright buy this. I have to finance this. And I'm like, ain't nobody finna finance me for this. So, you know what I'm saying? These are my intrusive thoughts that I share with y'all all the time, child. I know Portia don't talk like that. Portia don't think like that. What is wrong with you? I get it, but we all are guilty of it, okay? And so I was like, nobody is gonna allow me to do that. My credit wasn't A1 at that time for sure, but I was working on it. And the fact that I decided to go forth in that, and I was like, well, I'm gonna apply, and if they say yes, all they can say is yes or no. And if they say yes, then boom, God, it was meant for me to get it. And if they say no, then boom, God, it wasn't meant for me to get it. It's not my season for that, right? Or maybe this is not the route I need to go with this, right? Um, yes, thank you, Gregory, for joining the team. I'm so sorry. I missed that. I'm sitting up. Okay, let me put this laptop down. I got too much going on out here. Thank you, Gregory. So yeah, if it's not, then cool. So when I applied for the financing of the 360 machine, I was approved. And I was like, what? Like, you can't tell me what my God won't do. So I just took that as a sign. Thank you so much, Kia. No problem. Anytime. I took that as a sign to move forward in the venture of my business. And I was like, okay, ooh, and I'm excited. I'm like, okay, cool. This is what I'm gonna do. I kind of came up with a plan. As I get money, I'm going to put it back in my business and buy things that I need, like, you know. And so I was really huge on like getting tablecloths, chair covers, whatever. Again, I feel like when you decorate or put something together, I don't like just throwing stuff together, child. Like, I don't like tacky stuff. I don't like I like elegant, lavish, different things. And I think you can do it on a budget. So anyway, I was like, once I got the 360 machine secured and everything, I felt a little better. But then I was like, well, who gonna support me? Who is my clientele gonna be? But then again, here I am. Those are my intrusive thoughts. But Portia, Portia, okay, was on the other end like, girl, whoever's meant to support you gonna support you. And I kept hearing and seeing on social media, oh, thank you, Juma. Appreciate you. Thank you for the subscription. Got a subscription wave. Let's go. Yeah, so when I went to when I did that, I was like, you know, I don't know who's going to support me and who's not. I kept seeing all over social media people that already had businesses, that are entrepreneurs, was like, it be your own friends, it be your own family. They don't even support you. I always wanted handouts and all this type of stuff. So I was like, well, God, you know, whatever. Again, I'm doing all the things that I need to do on my end. Whoever is meant to come across my path will come across my path. Whoever I'm meant to, you know, be a part of. And then I had a little few networking situations going on or whatever. And I was really trying to put myself out there. I really was. And so I got my business cards made up. I made my own logo. I was trying to outsource that. But after the budgeting of everything, I was like, child, I got to make my own logo. And so I got the subscription to Canva. And then I did that. Like, when there's a will, there's a way. Okay? I'm so sorry, Elroy. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I thought your name was Juma. I meant Elroy. So sorry. Forgive me. Charged to my head and not my heart. So yeah, I made my own business cards. I went to this FedEx office and printed off my own business cards and had them cut it up for me. Like, listen, baby, your girl, like, even though fear was right there under the surface, and I was like I'm in the water. This is the water, and I have my head right under. Of like, I'm gonna keep above this, because if I allow it to pull me down, and if I get discouraged by not getting consistent bookings or whatever, because in the beginning it was a little rough, but once I got out there and I really started getting exposed, and this is the most telling part of it all. Okay. Regardless of what business I do, I know my customer service is top tier, A1. Okay. So when I was doing the 360 machine, and I would be at events and parties and stuff with people, and I set it up and I be there, and I'm there with a smile on my face the whole time, and I'm very welcoming, and a lot of people, especially older people, thank you so much, Kia, will be more afraid to do it. And they'd be like, oh, I don't know what this gonna do, and I gotta spin around this thing, and what's happening, and da 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 da. And I always came with a welcoming spirit and made people feel comfortable and everything. And every single event, I kid you not, people will always come up to me at the end of it. You're so nice. I love your smile. You just made me feel comfortable. This was the best experience. I've done this before. I hated it, but with you, it was great. And da da da. It was just affirming that what I was doing, regardless of how hard it was for me, regardless of if I thought I was going to fail or not, regardless of if I didn't even charge the $1,500 that it could be to rent it, right? Because I even struggle with my pricing. That's a whole nother thing as an entrepreneur. When you are selling a product or a service, some people will come out the gate and be like, it's $3,000. If you ain't got that $3,000, then baby, you can't use my services. Okay, listen, I understand, because I finance my particular machine and I have to pay that monthly. Okay, and so if I don't get no bookings, guess what? You think they care? They still want their money. So it's like, I get what you're doing, and even if you didn't finance and you were able to buy outright, a lot of people just in it for the money. But it wasn't just that for me. It was another source of income, don't get me wrong, but also it was something that I love to do and something that I wanted to do, and I desire to see people happy, make them feel good, be a part of somebody's celebration, and whatever. And so when I did it, I always came with that spirit and always did my best. And so people, I got so many bookings from being at one event. Another person would call me, you was at my cousin's party last week, I want you to do this party. Cool, no problem. Then they booked me, and again, I wasn't charging crazy amounts of money. I remember some people I even gave deals to. I had constant deals happening and stuff like that, because my business manager, Davina, who I interviewed on this episode, pretty much told me, like, you have to make a determination if you want to get out there and get exposure, that at this point of your business, it's not about you making money, it's about the exposure. Every video I made that I got from the event that I did would actually expose me to a different market, right? Because I could use that as free promo. That's free promo. Like, just get yourself out there. Don't think about don't get caught up on, well, this company, they charging $3.50 an hour, okay, and you over here charging $75 an hour, okay? And so it's like, girl, that's okay, because you're gonna get these people, and sometimes that brings in a different type of clientele, right? But again, and I was a little iffy on some of those clients, I ain't gonna hold you, because they were like, oh yeah, that's at my house, and I'm like, okay. I remember I did this college, these freshmen in college. They were home for the weekend, and her daughter wanted to have a birthday party. And it was, first of all, it started off as a family barbecue. So she had hired me for earlier in the day. So it was all the family. The little kids was the only ones doing the 360 machine. And I was just standing out there in the backyard. They was like, you can pick you a plate, you can get some drinks, you can do whatever you want to. And I'm like, yeah, thank you, appreciate you being professional and all that type of stuff. And then as the sun set, the college kids came, and child, they turned up. They had that block rocking. Okay, do you hear me? And I was a little afraid, because I'm like, these college kids, they out here smoking, drinking, doing all this stuff. I don't know if they, like, this is my precious machine. I don't want them to, you know what I'm saying, get irate. I don't want nobody to start fighting. It was packed in that backyard. Like, it was like legit old school juke party. For those who don't know what juke is, that's a Chicago term for our house parties, okay? It was a whole thing. Anyway, so I was really nervous at that point, but I was like, okay, and she extended my time because the kids wanted me to stay longer, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And she paid me for my extra time or whatever, but it was just like, I was nervous in that instance, and but the kids were very nice, and they were very respectable, and It ended up being a good event, a really great event, and I got paid very well, so I was grateful. Okay. But you know, I've been in a few little scary situations, but before I go anywhere, period, I always pray, and God, if I ain't meant to be there, yeah, you gonna work it out. He gonna either stop it or allow it, and he allowed it. Therefore, I knew I was protected and safe. Okay, we like that getting paid well part. Period. Okay, it's a blessing. But you know, in order for me to get to even that point, because the lady that booked me for that event, they had bank, and she didn't care about spending. Like, she had all the things you could think of for her family backyard barbecue party, like all the games, all the, it was lit, and it was just for her family, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but she was willing to pay that coin for that experience for her people. But some people be like, I ain't got it, I don't really, and that's fine. I'm willing to work with people. But now I do have like a set price, you know, after being in this for 2 years. So I'm like, okay, this is where I'm at, because I've put in the work, whatever. And you know, again, sometimes people just try to get over on you, and you have to use your discernment, right? And not allow people to just get over on you. And so yeah, it's just been a journey. But there has been doubts, and even when, like I told y'all, I got set down last year, and I was like doubting, like, dang, is this done? Is this the end of Anchored In? But God had gave me a vision to niche it down to something much more sustainable for me, because I already got so much else going on. So I'm super excited, and I'm actually working on right now a promo for Sweetest Day, because I'm trying to get back out there, and hopefully I can be booked to decorate some rooms for some people for Sweetest Day. And again, it could be anytime. You can have a special occasion, something sweet, you know, intimate and sexy for you and your mate. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. But your girl's here. Your girl is here. So I'm really working on promo for that and everything. And also, Life Be Lifing. Before I get out of here, child, Life Be Lifing is an extension of Anchored In. If you go to my website, you will see Life Be Lifing up there. Okay, that is the baby of Anchored In. Anchored In was a word that God had gave me in 2021. Well, actually 2020. At the end of 2020, he had gave me that word. It kept coming up, and it kept coming up, and I was like, let me look up this word in the scripture. And I pulled up all the scriptures talking about anchored or whatever. And thank you so much, Sky. And when I pulled it up and I saw, anyway, I was listening, I was following Transformation Church at that time. In January, they do a name of the year. At that time, I didn't even know, because I wasn't watching them like that. But that January, they did a name of the year. I mean, a word of the year. And so the word of that year was anchored. And I was like, that's confirmation, like, whatever. So fast forward to when I'm thinking about starting my business, which was like the summer of 2021. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna name this. And I was like, it gotta be anchored. It has to be anchored. And then I was looking up the symbolism of anchors and everything. Like, it's a whole thing for me. I love anchors. It's all over my house. It's very symbolic of who I am and who God needs me to be. Okay. So I wanted to just name it Anchored LLC, and then in Illinois that name was already taken, and so I was like, dang. So I was like, what other word can I add to it? And I was like, Anchored In. Like, you can be anchored in the ocean. That's what anchors are anchored in. But anywho, be anchored in love. You could be anchored in celebration. You could be anchored in joy. You could be anchored in whatever. And so I always put that on all my invoices. Thank you so much for using our business. And I titled the invoice Anchored In ... whatever it is that we're celebrating, or whatever it is that you hired me for, essentially. So just reminding them, and it's so much love that goes into this company. And so anyway, Life Be Lifing is a baby of Anchored In. This is just another side of me. Yes, that's my service side, but a part of one of my services was hosting. And so I can host events or whatever. I am an ordained minister. I can officiate weddings and all types of stuff. that type of stuff. So that was a part of my hosting part. So I do event planning, rentals, and hosting or whatever. I do decor. I do all of that. That was all under Anchored In. So Life Be Life and falls under the hosting portion. And that's why I started my podcast. And so at the time, again, when I started Anchored In, I thought it was just going to be event planning and all that type of stuff. But God has definitely elevated me to a whole nother sphere with Life Be Life in. And I'm just grateful to have this extension of Anchored In, Be Life Be Life in. And Life Be Life in is really going to take this to a whole nother level, okay? So even though I have been set down from doing like the event planning portion of it, or as far as for other people, I have my own events that I'm going to plan, and God has given me visions to do to help people as well. So I'm just excited. I'm excited. I'm grateful to be an entrepreneur. I really feel like I'm one of the first, at least in this generation of my family. I mean, most of the people in my family work 9-to-5 jobs, whatever, and that's great, and there's nothing wrong with that. I keep me a 9-to-5, okay? But until God says otherwise, that's what I'll be doing. But I am definitely laying down all the building blocks in order to open up myself to pretty much be on my own schedule and do what I need to do and leave generational wealth for my children, not just in knowledge and wisdom, but also financially, okay? And that for sure I'll be the first in my family to do. And I'm grateful for that. And I believe it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And I know early on when I would tell my family, they are super supportive of me, and they'll be like, yeah, that sounds great. Like, but when it really comes to pass, they're going to be like, wow, you said that. I remember when you were just dreaming. I remember when you were just, and when it comes to pass, it's going to be amazing. So, and it's already coming to fruition. So it's just happening in God's timeline. Our time ain't his time. So it is what it is. But I'm definitely a very structured person for 9-to-5, but also I know that I can make it out here in these entrepreneurial streets and utilize my gifts and talents and doing all the, and even once I finished my education, I wanted to have my own therapy clinic type situation. Like, it's just so much to do, and that's still gonna all be under the umbrella of Anchored In, okay? It's just gonna be across the board. And so this vision is much more than just an event planning decor type thing. God has so much more in store, and so I'm just grateful to be able to be used and to do all of these great things. And again, this episode is episode number 17. I'm not doing so much talking. It's really me interviewing not new to this but true to this entrepreneur, Davina Shorter. And even when you Google her name, Life Be Life and Podcast comes up. And she sent that to me like many months later after this podcast debuted. And she was like, I was just Googling my name and look what came up under my name. It was you, Life Be Life and Podcast. I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's so cool. Because I know she's doing big things right now. She's editing a whole, what's it called? Lord Jesus, help me, Lord. A whole, what's the thing on things called? The things that people love to watch these days. Reality TV show. Okay. But it's basically about boss women in Chicago. A reality TV show that's coming out on this network, and she's one of the main editors for the reality TV show and producer, and I'm super proud of her. And to know that I'm attached to something like that, and I got in with her before she blew up, okay, because she's definitely on her way up. I'm super grateful that God saw fit for me to be in a positioning such as that. And that's why, you know, a lot of my guests that you will see on the podcast may not be of notable name yet, okay? But God has definitely surrounded me with a lot of wonderful people, a lot of people that are like-minded and in alignment and have great wisdom and knowledge, again, to impart on others, or they have been through experiences that I may have never experienced them for myself, to tell their story. And I'm grateful to have a platform that I have to give people space to do that. Regular, everyday Joe Smo type people. So thank you so much, Tisha, for sharing the live. I appreciate you for being here. Thank y'all all for the likes and tapping up this screen. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the subscribers. I appreciate you guys. I love you all. This has been another installment of Life Be Lifin' recap. Okay. May the peace of God rest up on you all. Thank you, Kia. I love you, Kia. So yeah, before I get out of here, I'm going to share with you my sign off like I always do, my Speak Life affirmation. Okay. So for this particular episode, again, this is episode number 17, featuring Davina Shorter, and it's called It's Giving Boss. Talking all things entrepreneurship, and I'm interviewing her. Please go check it out. Please go check her out. It's an amazing episode. So today's Speak Life affirmation is, I am in charge of my life, and no one will dictate my path besides me. Again, today's Speak Life affirmation is, I am in charge of my life, and no one will dictate my path besides me. You heard it, you say it, you write it down, and remind yourself to speak that thing and make it happen, because life be life in us all. Love you all dearly. Thank you so much again for your participation, your love, and your support. And I shall see y'all again next Tuesday here on Life Be Lifin', as we talk about a failure to communication. I know y'all gonna jump in the boxes that day. Let's talk about it, okay? That's episode number 18, a failure to communicate. I remember that episode got super deep. Lord Jesus. But yeah, meet me back here, beat me here next Tuesday. Love y'all. Bye.